Hey everybody, it's me and Wesley here. We're gonna do a life update. He's a giggle box. He just turned 1 in August, and he's walking everywhere and getting into everything. But he is doing great. Him and Jaden are best friends. Jaden is taking a nap right now. Wesley would not take one. Anyway, so this is Mr. Wesley. He's still really tiny. He's only 19 pounds. Just hit 19 pounds. And he wears 6 to 9-month-old clothes. He can fit some 9-month-old, just plain 9-month-old, but then other 9-month-old clothes are too big for him. So he's a tiny guy, but it doesn't hold him back. He's a full-on character in a giggle box. So, anyways, just want to show you Wessers. Yeah. We gotta wake up Bubba soon. Bubba ain't gonna want to go to bed tonight. Mama. He says hallelujah. Mama, Daddy. Yep. That's one of his favorite words. Yep. And so I just want to come on here and give an update. There's a lot to catch up on. Wesley, get down. Wesley, get down. Hey. Wesley, get down, baby. Wesley. So our journey, the whole thing this video is about, is about my husband and me, how our August went. It was not a very good month. I haven't been on YouTube for a while. A lot of things have been going on, and I'm about to tell you a lot of it. So our journey began August 11th. My husband went and helped one of our neighbors move some rat-infested furniture. They were giving it to someone, and it had mice and rat feces and urine in it. And he didn't wear a mask. He should have, but he didn't want to be rude, and he should have. Anyways, so he helped him move. And then, like, immediately his throat started tickling him. And it started bothering him. So, later on that night, he was already starting to feel bad. He was, like, weak. And just, you know, when you're coming down with something, that feeling. And so, the next day, he started having, like, diarrhea. He threw up a few times. He was weak. He started running a fever. And he stayed in bed that whole next day. For the next 4 days, actually, he was that same way. Nothing else going on. Just his throat was still tickly. He would throw up. And he was having diarrhea and fever. Like running a pretty good fever. And so, 4.5 days in, he started with a dry cough, and on day 5, get down, let me see if I can show you. Anyways, day 5, he started having a little bit of shortness of breath, and he just started feeling worse, so we decided to take him to the hospital, the ER, and when he walked in, they were already like, oh, you got COVID. And, you know, he didn't tell him about the rat situation. He should have. Might have changed a lot of things, but he didn't. And so, but they didn't even want his insurance information. They were that sad it was COVID, and they wanted to file it with the government to get money. You know, that's what hospitals do. They get a lot of money for COVID patients. So anyways, they said you got COVID. They didn't test him for the flu. They didn't test him for rhinovirus. Nothing. They just said take this Z-Pack at home, which is good for COVID, and take this another antibiotic, I forgot what, and they gave him ibuprofen and Tylenol and sent him on his way. So let me think, like day 9 of all of this, he had finished his antibiotics by this point and the Z-Pack, and he had started feeling better. Well, he felt better day 9 and 10, and then day 11 he woke up and he was completely different. His breathing was different. I don't even know how to describe it. His fever was like in the 103s and up. It was so high. And he was having trouble talking because he literally couldn't breathe. So we went back to the other ER in town this time. And this is the ER that's supposed to be the best hospital in town. They're known for it. They're really nice facility. And they've always been great, except for the last like 3 or 4 times we've used them, or people we know have used them. They've like done stupid things. So anyways, he goes in, and the nurse is like, well, you already know you got COVID. Just go home and write it out. And he's like, no, I need to get seen. So she's like, okay, whatever, write your name on the list. She wasn't the friendliest thing. So he wrote his name on the list, waited a few hours, and then they got him back there. And they blew him off completely. They didn't want to even do a chest x-ray. I forgot to mention, the first time he did go, like 5 or 6 days before this, the other hospital did do a chest x-ray on him to make sure he wasn't like getting pneumonia or anything like that with it. And he was good then. So this hospital, the best in town, told him to go home and write it out. He'd be fine. It's COVID. Just, they didn't want to do chest x-ray. He asked for one. They were like, no, you don't need it. You're good. Just go home. They didn't really like look him over. I think they listened to his heart and real quick his chest, and they gave him Tylenol and ibuprofen again and told him to take cough syrup if he needed it and sent him home. So this was a Thursday at this point. And then the following Monday, he had got so bad. By this point on Monday, at least twice we caught on the oximeter, I think it's called, the thing you put on your finger to check your oxygen. He got to the point, like, if he got off the couch, his oxygen would down right into the low 80s. And twice he was moving around too much. One time he picked up Jaden and put him out of his bed, and when he did that, his oxygen dropped to 79. And another time he thought he was gonna be good, and he's like, I can take out the trash. So we took out the trash, and while I was asleep, it was still in the morning, and he almost passed out in the alley. So he comes back in, he puts the thing on his finger, and his oxygen's 74. 74. That's like super dangerous low. So Monday, it was still the same. He got to the point, like, he literally couldn't get words out. He would try to get words out, and it just would be like I can't even imitate it. It just, he couldn't catch a breath enough to say a word. And he was super weak, still running this fever. This is like day, I don't even know, 16 by this point. And so, yeah, he just kept on. And I was like, you're going back to the first ER. Like, the second one blew you off. So stupid. Something's definitely wrong. I'm like, maybe you have pneumonia. You know, like, something's going on. So, oh, and I completely forgot to mention. He got tested day 5. In day 6 of his illness, I got tested, and I tested positive for the flu and COVID. Or they told me I had COVID, probably because he had it, whatever. And so, yeah, I was sick during all of this time, too. My COVID symptoms only lasted 4 days. They wasn't near severe as his. But I think I had more flu symptoms than COVID. You know, the flu does not feel good. So, anyways, day 16 rolls around, and He couldn't even open the car door to walk in the ER. It took his breath away trying. And he was just that weak. So he goes in the ER, and yeah, they admitted him like pretty quick. And they did chest x-ray, and he had a large amount of fluid on his lungs and a very, very bad case of pneumonia. So the doctors told him, you know, like, if you would have been any older or waited longer, you probably wouldn't pull through this. Like, you're that severe, you know, we need to do something about it. So Tuesday, I talked to the nurse Tuesday night, like, so this is day 2, and the nurse told me that his blood work had been showing. They were taking his blood work every 4 hours,